Welcome to the Ychyfus Kung Fu podcast. Well, videocast, YouTube channel, whatever the fuck we're called these days. I'm Darren Jones, and him over there is...
I'm Carl Jescheling, the nostril picker today.
Oh, lovely.
Because I've been doing some schooling.
Hang on, where's that noise coming from? Where's that?
Schooling.
How come there's a song coming from an empty room in Japan? I don't know where Clive has gone, but... Okay, so so what do we think the crossover is between people who have seen the nostril picker and people who are into Kung Fu films?
Well, I mean,
we're going to watch us.
They would have been on, Vitpical things would have been up there. I'm sure there's a lot of Kung Fu fans who are interested in horror and stuff like that. Although,
yeah.
How many people actually sat down and watched the nostril picker is the question.
Maybe it was just us two.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a classic, though.
It is. It's fucking great.
We'll ask Rodney when he comes on next time.
We'll ask him if he's seen nostril picker.
He's ever seen the nostril picker,
yeah. And that's a little trailer for a future episode. Our Rodders, he's coming back.
He is.
Yeah. But he's going to talk about films this time.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
We've picked him up. We took him out from in front of the telly because it wasn't good for him. He was getting goggle-eyed. He was.
His eyes were going square.
Yeah. And we took him down the pictures.
We did, and we bought him some pop bets.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think so. No.
They had like a parrot or something on them, didn't they? Something like a.
Did they?
Yeah.
I just remember a little square box with, and I used to like the toffee ones, but you used to be able to get like orange creams.
Yes, Yeah, sorry, I got them confused with something. What are they called? Pop bets? Yeah,
maybe they were called toffettes. No, they were called pop bets.
The orange cream.
I'm sure they were.
The coffee ones.
Yeah.
And caramel, maybe, and chocolate.
Yeah, and but they weren't all mixed in. You're thinking of Revels.
Oh yes, I am thinking of Revels. Yeah.
You're thinking of Revels, but they were similar to Revels, but they were bigger and they were little spheres, little chocolate spheres, but they came in a little square box, little square cardboard box.
Would they have been the low budget equivalent to in the same way as when you went to the fish and chip shop, you'd have a Panda Pop, not Coca-Cola or something like that?
Quite possibly, yeah, I would say so. I would say that pop bets, you wouldn't see pop bets advertised on telly, whereas you would see Revels advertised on telly. So
yes,
they were certainly a budget sweet.
Revels would be more, Mr. Ambassador with these Revels, you were
exactly
spoiling us. Yes.
Yeah, as us with our Panda Pop.
Yeah.
And our potato fritter from the from Bryn Aman Cinema, because you can't afford a Russell.
Did they have? They didn't sell food, did they, in Bryn Aman?
No, but used to go to the chippy afterwards, didn't you?
Really good fish and chip shop.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Because that was part of the thing for us, was going to the fish and chip shop afterwards, because that was a fucking good fish and chip shop. I don't know if
it was.
But
no. Yeah, I haven't been to Bryn Aman. No one watching this knows the fuck what we're talking about. But anyway, there's a little village called Bryn Aman near where we used to live. Yes. And that's where the cinema was, and that's where we used to go.
Had to go all the way over the Black Mountain, drive over. Well, I did. From where you were?
You did.
Yeah.
No, I used to go the other way. So
the other way.
It was so it was easier for me. Yeah.
Good trip altogether. Black Mountain, cinema.
Yeah. Good vistas. Yeah.
And then fish and chips and back home, and
that's it.
Good night out.
Quite right. So moving. Segueing seamlessly from that straight into Kung Fu films. Today we are going to have a look at a William Chung Ki double bill. So last time we saw William Chung Ki, he was directing Guards of Shaolin, Ninja versus Shaolin Guards.
Yeah.
Also in Korean-looking locations.
Yeah, he's clearly got some sort of connection with Korea, hasn't he?
Yes. Because it's unclear, isn't it? It's a little bit unclear exactly where these films were shot, and there's a co-directing credit on on this one as well that may or may not be legit.
Yeah. Well, Death Duel's definitely Korea because it's the same temple.
It's the secret rivals. Yeah.
And
I would suspect this is as well.
Yeah, as I was watching Hero of the Wild, it looked to me like it would be.
Yeah.
It has got flavor to it, right?
Definitely.
It's interesting as well, something that we did. So on another podcast, The Magic Morning Wood, which you guested on, we also did William Cheng Key's classic Calamity of Snakes. And then now it turns out that more than likely that was a Korean co-production as well, because there is a Korean cut which we talked about, which we weren't able to see. And if you look at that up on the Korean movie database as well, that has a co-director credit, a Korea.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's a bit different. Sometimes it's true, and then sometimes I think the Koreans can be a little bit overzealous in attributing someone who might be an assistant director or something as being a co-director. And like, the case of, for instance, amusingly, one of these, I can't remember which one, I think it was Death Duel of Kung Fu. If you look up Death Duel of Kung Fu on the Korean movie database, where it is as the swordsman, what was it? The Swordsman in Plains, which doesn't make any sense anyway.
No, because they're both swordsmen, aren't they? John Liu and Wong Tao. Yeah.
They don't even credit William Cheng Kei at all.
Yeah.
It's completely directed by some Korean bloke, according to them. So it's an interesting if you like sorting out puzzles and film trivia and stuff, it's actually quite interesting and entertaining to try and figure all this crap out. But for others, maybe they're not as interested, but I enjoy.
Yeah. Alternatively, if you are into very good kung fu films with excellent choreography, you're in for a treat this time.
Yes. Yeah,
I think
to move on. I think we've put the Rebels versus Puppets debate to bed for now.
Yeah,
they come up again.
For all time, surely.
Well, it's always good to come back to these big debates and.
Yeah. With the passage of time. Okay.
Yes. So
we are doing Hero of the Wild, which was from 1977, which is a new one for both of us.
Yes.
Yeah, and the classic, or what a lot of people say is a classic, Death Duel of Kung Fu from 1979.
Right. Should mention, so the reason we didn't, because I was thinking, well, why don't we make it a triple bill? Because there's a film in between he directed, right? A quick Mantis, but no copy. I don't have a copy of that, and I couldn't find a copy online or anything, and I couldn't find a copy. It seems quite the rarity, maybe, Quick Step Mantis.
Yeah, there's I might have a VHS of it somewhere, but I'd have no way of transferring it. And maybe I haven't got a VHS, maybe I've just imagined it.
But one of those titles you could mistake for something else, couldn't you?
Exactly, yeah. So yeah. Darren's just frozen.
Hero of the Wild. And well, how about then, Darren, to help you out?
Yeah.
How about we talk about a little bit so we kind of watched two versions of this, didn't we?
Ish, yes.
So there's a Ocean Shores DVD. Well, it's not really a proper remastered DVD, I don't think. It seems to be a pretty good VHS transfer from somewhere, and that's Hero of the Wild. But you will also have seen this film about. It's on those, those 50 Kung Fu mega pack things you can get.
Yeah.
They often have Heroes of Shaolin and Heroes of Shaolin 2, which is basically this film split into two, assumingly for TV broadcast at some point somewhere. And they got into the, because these people who put out these mega packs, they just buy crap right, left, and center, right, and just cram it in these mega packs.
Yeah.
I don't think they even know what they have half the time, right? Like those Ninja Death, Ninja Kids films.
Oh yeah,
goes all the time as well.
All the time, yeah.
So they just whatever they had. Oh yeah, here's Shaolin Part 1, Part 2. So I personally I watched Hero of the Wild alongside the Heroes of Shaolin Part 1 and 2, and there are differences. There are significant differences. And maybe we'll get to that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Filling while you froze.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so cast and crew.
Yeah.
William Chung Key, director. We've got yeah, I'm just checking I'm looking at the right one. So choreographed by the Dream Team.
Sorry, and if it's to be believed, Kwon Young-joo is the other director. He's the
yeah. Choreographed by Yun Kwai, Yun Biao, and Yin Shuni, which is a nice little combo.
Yeah.
Who also appear. You don't really see a lot. Didn't catch Yin Shuni in there, apart from maybe doubling for Chen Sing.
Right.
Doing some of the flips.
But
yeah.
Yo and Korean have probably their first, like, relatively, quite a bit of screen time, not just as an extra, right?
No, they're kind of underbosses, aren't they, really?
We've seen them in earlier films, but yeah, you'll blink and you miss them, right? They're usually in a pack.
Yeah.
But they're actually
they've got dialogue.
Yeah.
And they're proper villains, they're proper henchmen, aren't they?
So, also worth mentioning, so I suppose the same year as this, that those three, they would have worked as assistants to Yang Woo-ping and Shusha on the Invincible Armor.
Yeah. And again, this is kind of an outlier, because you flash forward. I know we're going forward, but you flash forward to Death Duel Kung Fu, right? And that seems to fit much more with the Invincible Armor Secret Rivals kind of mold, doesn't it? But this is a bit different. This one's a bit
different. Yeah.
There's
something a bit, I don't know what it is to say exactly. There's something old fashioned, not in terms of the choreography, but there's something like it's a proper pared down, well told story that isn't episodic nonsense with a good fight here and there. Like, it's actually compared, Death Duel of Kung Fu has a fucking all over the place excuse for a plot.
Yeah.
But this one is this is actually a good bit of storytelling, I thought. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's not it doesn't seem to be cashing in on anything, right? Death Duel of Kung Fu is clearly part of the boom and is riding on the back of well, generally speaking, Secret Rivals. But this is kind of, it's got some nice meandering plot points. It's trying to tug at your heartstrings as well. It's doing it's doing its best on this one. So anyway,
probably worth noting, how many films do you have Chan Sing, Lo Li, and Hwang Jang-lee in?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna get to Hwang Jang-lee's presence in this at the end.
Okay.
Because I've got something to say about that. But yeah, well, I'm Doris Lung as well.
Oh, Doris Lung is just lovely in this.
Oh yeah.
On the Chan Sing, Lo Li, Hwang Jang-lee thing as well. I don't know. I went into a weird mind space while I was watching this, and there's a bit where Chan Sing's kind of having an argument with Lo Li just before they have a fight.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, this is the Kung Fu equivalent. This looks like Charles Bronson having a chat with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
And when I was in that weird space, Hwang Jang-lee entered. And just because I was in that way of thinking of comparing people, I never made this comparison before. I never thought of this before. But as soon as Hwang Jang-lee came on, Samuel L. Jackson. There's something Samuel L. Jackson about Hwang Jang-lee.
Yeah, I suppose there is. Yeah. I suppose, he's got that kind of meanness, that kind of don't fuck with me.
Never thought of it before until watching it. And I'll probably never think it again. But while I was in the mood,
do we think he's ever done an Enter the Fat Dragon, Lee Hoi-san brother makeup?
Who, Hwang Jang-lee?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if we go through the filmography, we might find something.
Might be a worthy endeavor to do one day.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, but so it's fucking great cast.
Yeah.
And there's some really good, and to my shame, I didn't actually. Oh yes, I did. I wrote one of their names down. There's some really good kind of teenage talent in this as well.
Yeah, well,
So
the main
Chen Mi Lin, who plays the young teenage son that Chen Sing takes on, fucking great.
Ting Hwa Chung, I've got him. Because Ting Hwa Chung, because he was
Oh, sorry, that's the dad. Sorry, that's the dad. My apologies. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Ting Hwa Chung was the red boy in
Ting Hwa Chung.
Baby.
That's right, Ting Hwa Chung. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, yeah, because they've got almost the same name. The characters have got almost the same name in the plot.
Right.
Him and his dad. Anyway, but yes, really good teenage talent, and I mean front and center. You know, for 77, the shapes and choreography going on in this.
Yeah.
Of a very, very high standard.
Yes.
Yeah. And everyone in it seems to be on point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Chen Sing actually isn't, and I was reflecting on this as I was watching it. Wasn't this a good fucking year for Chen Sing? 77.
Yeah.
Shaolin Plot.
Yeah.
Stirrings of Iron Fisted Monk. He's just done the Himalayan.
Right.
So this is kind of the year and a half for Chen Sing.
He's good. What I like about him in this film is that because you don't often get the chance to see him carry a film, but he is pretty much our lead, I would say.
Oh, he is. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I think it's probably the kind of the influence of the spaghetti western as well. There's something, and it's not just the music. There is something spaghetti western about this as well.
Well, it's interesting. Speaking of the music, because normally it is something stolen from a spaghetti western, but some of the music in this sounded a bit more like from some. It's got that dum 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 pumping along kind of feeling. I'm not sure where it's from because, as we've established, we're crap at finding out where.
Yeah.
Although there's a bit of Pink Floyd in it at one point.
Yeah. It's from a the soundtrack is from a western. Someone will tell us.
Yeah, it's either from like a classic Hollywood western or it's from something light-hearted, like from like My Name Is Nobody, or from or one of those Terence Hill, Bud Spencer kind of goofier westerns, right? Yeah.
But it's also it's not a light-hearted film either. This is a serious kind of straight down the line.
I just noticed that jumped out at me as okay, it's not usually the type of western music they use.
No. So anyway, so plot-wise then, I suppose you've got it starts off with this fucking lovely scene, and I would love to see this in a proper widescreen HD. Lovely scene on the beach.
Yeah.
Where Chen Sing has challenged Chen Mi Lin just to a fight, just because Chen Sing's he wants to be in the dub dialogue, he says something like champion of China or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's defeated him before, hasn't he? He's come back for a rematch.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's more. So I looked it up on the Korean movie database as well. The plot for the Korean movie database is the same, except there's a lot more stuff at the beginning. Backstory. Well, not backstory exactly, but there's a whole thing about these two characters and specifically who they are, what they are. And about halfway through the plot synopsis, it gets to, and he kills him, and then is. So I'm wondering.
Oh, that's interesting.
If the Korean version, or if that's just from from the promotional materials of the time and don't actually appear in the film. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So anyway, Chen Sing beats his old rival, and then whips out some daggers and makes him kill himself in front of his young child. For honor.
Ting Hwa Chung.
Who is Ting Hwa Chung? And then it becomes Chen Sing giving the kid the knives he made his dad kill himself with, and say, right, you're coming with me now, son. and you can try and kill me anytime you like, and I'll train you how to kill me for vengeance.
Right.
Which straight away, I like that. Straight away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a good setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's tough as well with him. There's a so well, I'll get to this more later, but in general, you want to be going for the Ocean Shores DVD for all sorts of reasons. The Heroes of Shaolin version is even more cropped.
It is, yeah.
A little bit brighter, but it's cropped. Hero of the Wild, and there's a few extra extended scenes in Hero of the Wild. The one thing that is in the Heroes of Shaolin version, though, that isn't in the Hero of the Wild bit, is the bit where Ting Hua Chung's playing with a little puppy or something. And,
oh yeah. Oh, that's not in there.
No, and it is, but I'm something it gets angry, but then you just don't see the dog, and he says, "Oh, you know." But it is missing the bit where he seems to kill the dog and throw the puppy's corpse on the floor.
Okay.
That's been snipped out of the Hero of the Wild. That's the only thing you're missing. So unless you insist on cruelty to dogs, you're better off going with Hero of the Wild than.
Yeah. To be fair. To be fair, that dog did look a bit stuffed rather than killed.
Yeah, I mean,
that didn't look like a proper dead dog.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway. So yeah, and then sort of throughout the film, and then Chan Sing is basically kind of a wandering kind of mercenary for a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an assassin for hire, isn't he? He's an assassin for hire with a very strict bunch of rules as well, though. You can hire me to kill someone, but if I don't like the idea, not only am I not going to do it, I'm going to kill you. So
yeah, and I'm keeping the money anyway.
It's a very dicey. I'm not sure how he stays in business, to be honest with you.
Well, it must be really fucking hard.
I guess so.
Also, sorry, previous plot point that I missed. Just before Ting Hua Chun's dad kills himself, he makes Chen Sing promise to bring down or to hook up with the rebels, and to eradicate where possible the the kind of overlords,
well, there's some Manchus going to come in, right, apparently, and there's some Patriots, but the Patriots there's a group of Patriots who want to kill some traitors who are loyal to the Manchu or something like that. To be honest, doesn't really matter.
Well, it becomes you kind of need to know that for the end. But that's it. Yeah, but generally speaking, he just becomes a mercenary. He's just wandering around. And sort of throughout, and it's kind of it's kind of almost a road movie then, isn't it? It's almost there's lots of footage of them traveling from place to place, up beautiful mountains. There's some really good scenery in this. Yeah, as well, isn't it?
And locations like I mean, I'm assuming they're rebuilt replicas which they have there, but they look good on screen. Korean kind of There's one quite funny bit though. There's a couple of bits where fights switch locations halfway through, which is actually something quite common in kung fu films. But there's one bit that made me laugh where they're having a fight in a brothel. They're supposed to be in the brothel.
Yeah.
They jump out the window of the brothel, and they're suddenly right in front of what is obviously a temple with like fucking incense burning urn and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was quite
maybe that was just across the street from the brothel.
No, because they come out from inside
the monks.
Window.
And all through this as well. There's a hint of the Pink Panther and Kato.
Yes,
Clouseau and Kato, because Ting Hua Chun is trying to kill Lo Li, is trying to kill Chen Sing. At various points along his development.
Like so when he's taking a piss on the side of the road, doesn't he?
Yeah, you just whack him with a staff or something. Yeah.
And it's
and that happens a few times. Yeah, and he's like, he fake illness or something just so he can give Chen Sing a whack on the nose. So yeah, so that's a feature.
Yeah, but of course they learn to respect each other and blah, blah, blah. And then, so this will be getting into spoilers. So spoilers as well. Wow, all that. So, and then a man in a silly devil mask.
No, devil masks are never silly when they're in kung fu films. Devil masks in kung fu films are always cool.
It's a little bit silly. It's a little bit silly. Hires chancing to kill someone who it turns out he's going to kill anyway, right? I'm assuming they don't plug the gaps in exactly, but I'm assuming
it's Lo Li, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, no. The man in the mask is hiring him to kill Lo Li.
Right. Okay.
He was going to kill anyway.
Yes.
I think, and then he goes to see Lo Li.
But what I mean is, it's never said, but I'm assuming he's killing him because he's been identified as one of these traitors, right?
Yes.
And he works for Huang Jiangli, and he's one of the traitors. And then Huang Jiangli sends out his grandchildren.
Well, but before that, he issues this challenge to Lo Li. And Lo Li gives Chen Xing the ultimate insult and just sends this sedan chair with his kid in it.
Right.
And just doesn't show up. And then the two kids, and then the two teenagers.
That's quite good.
And that was great, because the action on this, just to repeat, the action, whenever we're talking about plot points and fights, always assume the action is top quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just assume that, and we'll tell you when it's extra good.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lovely fight. Big fight between Lo Li and Chen Xing, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the kids go first again, and this time Ting Chen defeats the teenager because he's had some extra training off of Chen Xing, and then Chen Xing defeats Lo Li, but Lo Li's a bit of a sly pie, and pretends to be defeated, and then kicks Chen Xing's ass when his back's turned. So Lo Li actually won. Chen Xing actually won the fight, but Lo Li cheated.
Right. There's also a bit of a thing about trying to rescue a woman from prostitution as well. There's that kind of thing goes on a bit as well. He sends out his grandchildren, who are Yumpio Korien and the lovely Doris Lung. Yumpio gets one line of dialogue in the whole film, and they give him a really pathetic little voice. To say, "I'll teach you a lesson, you smart aleck kid, you." But still, like we said, it's quite cool to actually see him have a proper part, right? And as Rodney pointed out in a chat to us, he probably did a lot of the doubling as well.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure Yun Shuni was doubling Chen Xing just because of their frame, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, particular the two fights between the grandchildren and either Chen Xing or Tung Hua Chen, and both of those fights are extra top tier action, particularly the last one, but that's fucking, they can, this is Yun Kwai, and who we don't often associate as a performer, to be fair, but this is them both at the top of their game.
Forgotten how ugly he is.
He's just a mean looking fucker, isn't he?
Yes, but because he's he's Korean quiet, right? So you don't tend to think, and then you see him and you think, he's a little goblin of a fellow, isn't he?
But he's you know what, I think Yun Kwai could have made a career out of being a Huang Jiangli style villain.
Interesting.
He has got the face for us, an uber villain, a silver fox villain.
I don't know. I mean, because Huang Jiangli is not ugly. He's scary, but he's not ugly.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Yun Kwai's ugly necessarily. I just think he's got these really severe features.
Right on a double date. You're single. I set you up on a double date.
Yeah.
This is, and you go out, and you're your date for the evening is Korean Kwai. You're disappointed. Go on, tell me the truth.
No, I'm just be frightened.
Are you going home with him?
Well, you know, only so I can get bragging rights.
Well, no,
but
I'm going by looks alone. I'm not actually saying he is Korean Kwai.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm not calling him ugly. I'm just calling him like mean looking. And you can say this. You can say the same thing for Chen Sing. Chen Sing's not an attractive man.
No, but he's got a rugged in that Bronson way. Like Bronson's not ugly. Like there's a bit of a fine line where Charles Bronson turns into Klaus Kinski.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are straying.
We are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just to lay it out, just because I think the fights involving Yuen Biao, Korean Kwai, and Doris Lung are so good. Yuen Kwai is doing some amazing spear work. Yuen Biao's got like a sword and a dagger business, and Doris Lung's got the spinny sticks with the things on them.
She's cool as well in this, isn't she? She's cute, but she's also just like super cool when she's on screen.
Yeah, she's just a badass, isn't she?
Yeah.
So anything with them in this film is a highlight instantly, and yet they're not even really plot points, you know?
Right.
They're just the incidental villains.
So I don't know how much further we want to go into unraveling the plot exactly, but we should certainly say that as it gets towards the end and peaks, we do get chancing against the three grandchildren.
Yeah.
And then we get a chancing versus Huang Jiangli, which is just, that's a thing, isn't it? And we should mention as well, if you the Hero of the Wild cut, you want to see, because the Heroes of the Shaolin is missing about half of the fight of Chansing versus the three grandchildren. It's missing the first two deaths. You only get to see him kill the last one. And that's a great fight. So amazing. You want to see all of that. Plus, as well, it's missing. So when Huang Jiangli goes up against Chansing, there's a whole section where they're using weapons for a while. And then they go empty-handed, right? It's missing most of the weapons bit, which for me is the most interesting bit of that fight. So you really do want to seek out the Ocean Shores Hero of the Wild Cut as opposed to the two-part Heroes of Shaolin. And then, I mean, spoilers, but then who's the man in the devil mask? Now, I have to admit, I felt like a fucking idiot watching this. Because from the beginning, you're set to, who can it be, right? And I gave it a bit. To be honest, I don't really like doing this in films, and I'm not a whodunit guy. I always like the Columbo method when you know whodunit in the first place. So I've only given it a bit of thought. Who could it be? And then when it was finally revealed who it was, I was actually genuinely surprised. And then quickly followed by, of fucking course, like, how did I not guess that? I felt like a total idiot, but I was surprised.
Yes, I was also surprised.
Okay. Well, I'm not the only idiot in town.
No, I was there as well. However, what I would say is I am pretty sure when the mask's on, it's a different actor with a different build.
Yes, to be fair, yes.
So, and I watched this or sections of this for the second time yesterday.
Right.
And I was fucking convinced that under the mask, that was not that actor.
Right.
So I think you're forgiven. You're forgiven for not knowing that.
But in retrospect, it's so obvious just from the point of view of, well, there's this, major player in this film and you've hardly seen him at all. It's probably going to be that person, right? Yeah.
But also the plot twist right at the end. Someone who we'll leave it for a surprise for people. Someone is dispatched really fucking casually right at the end of this film.
Right.
Without there really being a big fight. Which is also interesting.
Yes. Yeah. But it builds nicely. I have to say this film builds nicely and it there wasn't any part where anything was anticlimactic, and then
no,
kind of ironic ending I liked as well. The very kind of that was kind of fun. No, I had a good time with Hero of the Wild, aka Heroes of the Wild. It's a good, like we said, first watch. So it's always nice to come across something you haven't seen before and be this impressed, right?
Yeah, I was blown away by it. I just thought, it ticked so many boxes for me. So it's a bit unusual. So it's a bit outside the formula, which I really liked.
Right.
The script is good. Character, you get to know the characters, you get to know all the characters, and and visually as well. I mean, choreography aside, and the choreography is fucking excellent, but also plentiful. So there are a lot of fights in this.
Yes, yeah.
So he is succeeding in driving the plot forward, giving us new things to think about in the plot, but also making sure there are plenty of fights to keep us busy.
Well, the balance is great. The balance is great. Never overwhelms in either direction. Right?
No. So yeah. So I want to say this is a classic. I want to say this is kind of getting up there. I would say I don't want to put it like number one.
No,
but I want to put it on a level with something like Shaolin Invincible Sticks or something.
Yeah, well, we talked about
Taiwan
this before when we were talking about something like The Horticle, The Vicious, right? Like this is actually a better film than that, but because it's lacking like a kink, because it's lacking something weirdo about it.
Yeah.
So for example, I don't think I've ever heard anyone like I know there are people who know a lot more than us and they rate this film. For instance, when we mentioned it to Rodney, he said good film, and I'm sure
he
thinks it's a good film. But in general, it's not one that comes up in fandom like people say, oh, you got to see that Hero of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's not one that's been placed to me before.
No. And the other thing is we're watching this with Death Dealer Kung Fu. And most people know Death Dealer Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Right? And, my opinion, this is a far better film than Death Dealer Kung Fu.
Well, I'll say it's a bit.
We'll get there.
Yeah, it's a bit apples and oranges. They're different types of film, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. However,
it's a classier film. It's a classier.
It is. Yeah, Death Dealer Kung Fu is worthy of the hype. So I'm not pissing on Death Dealer Kung Fu.
You're not doing a dirty whore on this one.
No, I'm not. No. I'm very happy with Death Dealer Kung Fu, but I think as well as anyone else who picks up on this, who's like us and hadn't seen it before, but had seen some of the other stuff around it, I had far more fun watching this for the first time than I'm pretty sure I did watching Death Dealer Kung Fu for the first time.
Okay,
because I think there's a lot more to satisfy you in this. There's something for everyone in this film. In Hero of the Wild.
It's a proper film. It reminds me a little bit, not in terms of reminds me the films are similar, in terms of what we were talking about when we did Wang Use the Sword. And if you remember, we said, well, this is a film that you could put in front of someone who doesn't watch a lot of Kung Fu films just as a good action film.
Yeah.
I think Death Duel of Kung Fu, people who don't have patience for films that because Death Duel of Kung Fu is a blast of a film, but it exists pretty much purely on its fight action. It's not the most narratively well-told story in the world. So I think Hero of the Wild works for I suppose nowadays they'd call them a normie, right? You could a nice looking print of this, put it in front of a normie, they could enjoy it, and it could work as a gateway drug as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you'd want a nice version of it though.
Yeah, because they're still normies.
Yeah, the kind of the last, because I think we've kind of got there on Hero of the Wild. But the last thing I want to say about it, which is kind of a criticism, is I think just my gut tells me that Wang Zhangli is miscast in this.
Wang Zhang Jackson.
Right? Wang Zhang Jackson. Motherfucker. Right? Because there's something that doesn't quite gel between Chen Xing versus Wang Jiangli, right? And obviously they come from two vastly different kind of strata and eras of action cinema, right? But that doesn't seem to hinder anyone else who goes up against Wang Jiangli, right? But there's something about Wang Jiangli in this that doesn't quite fit for me. And maybe it's the kind of the vast difference between how we're used to seeing Chen Xing and how we're used to seeing Wang Jiangli, right?
I kind of know what you mean. I kind of it's not. I think it's to do with Huang Jiangli, because we know who he is and he's got the cumulative power. You're always pleased, and it's fucking and it's Huang Jiangli, which is Chen Xing and Lo Li, and you think, wow, right? But it's not necessarily the sum of his parts. Huang Jiangli, is not. I mean, he's good at everything, of course he is, but this isn't one of his iconic, proper, fucking nasty badass roles.
Well, that's the other thing though. He's not got a lot to do in the film.
Yeah, it's a strange analogy, but I remember, for instance, when Heat came out.
Yeah.
And Heat is a great film. Overall, it's a really good film. But people would go, oh, the scene with De Niro and Pacino on screen together for the wow. And I remember just thinking, they're having a cup of coffee and the fuck. And for neither of them, it's not Pacino at his best, and it's not De Niro at his best, and it's not the two of them together. Oh my God. And I was thinking people were going over, they were fucking cumming their trousers. About this scene, I was thinking, what the fuck? It's just De Niro and Pacino having a cup of coffee and just being fine. That's it. So so you shouldn't necessarily expect Huang Jiangli plus Chen Xing, equals something phenomenal here.
But the rest of the film around it, makes it.
And because it's all good, then it doesn't matter. You don't really mind. But I take your point. It's not necessarily, it doesn't, it's not plus equals fucking it's not Huang Jiangli at his best. No,
although he's not doing anything wrong.
No, he's fine. He's perfectly fine.
Exactly. So but that's it. I mean, I'm urging people, if they haven't seen Hero of the Wild, fucking see it.
Yes,
and see it.
Check out the Hero of the Wild version as well, the Ocean Shores.
But I'll lay my bollocks on the line and say, because I know you like that, and
that's why I have my own line. So you always
exactly. But I'll lay it on the line and put my reputation on the line and say,
nah, just the bollocks.
All right then. No, but you will genuinely not regret sticking on Hero of the Wild if you haven't seen it before.
It's good.
I challenge you to I
just realized we should correct something we said, because we were just in regards to what we watched, but Rodney did mention in a chat that there is a HD version of this about, but I'm guessing that's probably non-subbed and non-dubbed. But you could always, if they match, you could always lay the soundtrack on top of it. So there is a HD out there somewhere. We didn't have it, but I would like to see the film in HD.
Yeah, do tell us. Do tell us if it's available and if you've seen it.
Yes. Are there any other fanciable Dorises?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, you gotta go back to the 30s and 40s to find a Doris, really, haven't you?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Doris Lessing, no, she's horrible.
Who's that? The names come. I know the name of Doris Lessing.
She's an author.
What does she write? Right. That's why I know.
She wrote. Yeah.
Like Doris or something.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah. She's horrible.
Any other? Yeah. That was a bit harsh, actually.
There was a bit.
That was a bit much. Yeah.
I suppose people fancy Doris Day back in the.
Doris Day. Hey, no, Doris Day could be said to be attractive. Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer Doris Lung.
I do. Yes, most certainly.
Right. So we skip forward a couple of years. So once again, William Chen-kei in Korea with Kwon Young-sun again, apparently, and again Ai Kwang on script writing duty.
Yeah, we didn't mention that for the other one. Yeah,
and I think same producers, or at least a couple of the same producers. And again, it's I assume William Chen-kei's production company, Kiwoo Film, right? They did Calamity of Snakes as well. That Kwon Young-sun guy as well. Another one of his credits is he might have been co-director of the Korean version of The Magic Curse.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
which is an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that one day.
Yeah, it's not really. There's a bit of foo in there, but you know, it's foo. We do foo adjacent now and again, don't we? It could do it for a Halloween show.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Well, maybe. Stay tuned. So Secret Rivals Part 4.
Right, including the same fucking temple with animal statues in front as
and almost the same stars.
Well, it is. Well, I mean, actually, it is the only one of the, because there was a bunch of either Don Wang Tao or John Liu post Secret Rivals where they will team up with other people. But to be fair, this is the one that gets John Liu and Don Wang Tao back together, right?
Yeah.
As skin crawling as I find John Liu, to be honest with you, I mean, you can't fault his kick. And as I mentioned before, it's not totally, although he is pretty skin crawling, but also it's just that he looks a lot like a Japanese coworker I used to have.
Oh, okay.
Was also skin crawling and reminds me of him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that with John Liu.
Really?
Although we have not really. He's all right. I don't think he's like a super stud or anything. But I don't think
there's a bit in this when he gets it on with Kim Chong-ja, right? There's actually a bit of John Liu snogging.
Yeah.
And it went right through me like nails on a chalkboard.
That is a very sleazy scene as well, though, isn't it?
But it's the fact that it's John Liu, and you can see he was in a bit of tongue.
Yeah.
I take it all back. I take it all back. Korean Kwai. I'd snog you before I snogged John Liu.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. And John Liu's a leading man. See? So there is something. There is something to Young Kwai.
But if you took away the kicking, there's no way he'd be let anywhere near in front of a camera.
I disagree. He's a better actor than most of the super kickers, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
he's not a bad actor.
I do find him fascinating, and we'll get to this because we're going to get to. Well, actually, we should mention the same year as this, right? He embarks on his own directorial career because he does Zheng Quando's Paris, right?
Don't worry, we're definitely getting to John Liu's weird vehicles.
Yes, we had a bit of an issue when it came to sharing things HD and file size, but I think I'm kind of getting a way around that now. So yes, we'll be. I think we want to do Zheng Quando and Made in China and all of them. Just
that's coming. That's coming. That's going to be more on the Bruce Lee specials that we did, isn't it? That's going to be more.
I'm very much looking forward to getting round to those, though, because that's going to be and a half, I think.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. So the main players it's Southern Fist and Northern Leg, right? So a la Secret Rivals. Plus, in the Wang Zhangli position, we have got Eagle Han.
Speaking of underrated, Eagle Han, or a real name Kim Yong-il, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean the trouble, we've probably mentioned this before, so the trouble with Eagle Han is he's fucking great, but you more often than not find him in Elton Chong films.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now that's a bit because we have, as unlikely as it might seem, we have actually managed to finally have an appreciation of Elton Chong after all these years, right?
Yeah. Check out our previous Elton Chong special.
Yes,
where we accidentally watched 6 and not
films.
4.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I finally kind of get Elton John now. But for a long time there, it was in our early years. It was, oh, for fuck's sake, this Elton John film. That Eagle Hand's good, mind.
Yeah.
That was, the standard approach, wasn't it? That was the standard take we had about Elton John.
Yeah, and he's doing a fucking good job in this. And he's actually got a hairdo. He's got a fake hairdo that's actually good. It doesn't look like, Bolo putting a fucking mop on his head. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing with Eagle Hand as well is we've talked about the chameleon that is Mark Long, despite him having a very distinctive look.
Yeah.
Eagle Hand as well, the few times that you see him not as the white-haired villain, Eagle Hand can look quite different in some films as well. You don't think you're watching Eagle Hand.
No, exactly. Well, talking of William Chung-Kee, Ninja vs. Shaolin Guards, he looks fucking completely different to anything else he's in. Because he's more or less au natural, isn't
he? Yeah, right. Yes.
More or less in the altogether.
Right. So we should mention. So if you don't mind, I'm going to tackle the plot here because I find so as we've learned in the past, you shouldn't look to kung fu films for history lessons, but I still do it because I find it fascinating. I don't know if I'm sure you enjoy this as well. It's because it's not consistent. So sometimes they don't give a shit and it's just this is set in the past and that's it.
Yeah, or it's the in a certain genre, or subgenre, it's the ancient race of ninjas.
Yeah, exactly.
Invaded China in 1942.
Yeah, or the Japanese are invading China, like basically through entire Chinese history, right?
Yeah.
But every now and again, if you pay attention, you'll find like, oh, they're kind of they've made this fit historically to a certain extent. So looking into this, so the story is it's basically the let me get this right. So the Ming loyalists have fucked off to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And the Qing are kind of taking over the mainland. And so I was looking into this. So I think this must have been what is called, if you look at it on Wikipedia, it's the Kingdom of Tung Ming period between 1661 to 1683. So it's very specific bit of history. But what's interesting is I was looking it up on the Korean movie database, and for a change, the plot is more or less the same, except the loyalists, the Ming loyalists haven't fled to Taiwan. They've fled to like Joseon, right? But I was looking it up. Historically, it actually matches up. It would have been, it made sense. I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. Someone's kind of, or by accident or something, they've made it kind of make sense, right? I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, the rest of the plot is pretty fucking pedestrian.
Oh, beyond that, it's bullshit. It doesn't, and it forgets about it. To be honest, it's actually quite. The only reason because I was interested in that and I was kind of keeping track of it. But actually, if you weren't paying attention, it is a fairly convoluted and confusing plot.
Yeah.
Which is like a spy story for a while, but then the spy is outed as a spy and then isn't a spy, and then at the end is suddenly it's a big surprise they're a spy again. And it's a crap story, really. It's Dong Wong Tang Jung Liu. The other one is the Korean chick in it, Kim Jong-ja, the one who's unfortunate enough to have to snog John Liu. In fact, I blame John Liu for this. I've decided she wasn't in another film until 1997.
Yeah, she's pretty good though. She's good.
Fine. She plays. Well, she's supposed to be a Japanese lady gambler who gets her tits to distract the gambler.
Oh, yes. Talking of tits, I was in a rush to watch this, and I own the DVD. And I'm sure it's an Old Eastern Heroes DVD. I own the DVD, but I was on the run, so I was in a rush to watch it. So I ended up watching it on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
And if you watch it on YouTube, there are no tits.
Oh, there are tits. I watched the one. It's like every now and again it flicks into German for a few seconds. It's the German.
Yeah,
and it's as good a copy as you're gonna. There's a lot of print out, but
well, funny enough, it's the same one I watched because that had German titles.
Okay.
But I'm assuming for YouTube they snipped the tits out.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, her tits are there. But anyway, yeah, so she didn't appear for another film until I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a Korean film from 1997 called Bad Movie. It's also known as Timeless Bottomless Bad Movie.
No.
Great film. Highly recommend.
Okay.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting film. Anyway, she wasn't in anything, I don't think, between Death Duel of Kung Fu and that film, which is like a 18-year gap. And I reckon it's because she had to kiss John Luke. She's
just been stood at the sink for 18 years, just brushing teeth.
Yeah. Occasionally remember.
Yeah.
Is John Liu still alive? Because I think I've scuppered any chances of him coming on as a guest.
Yeah, he is still alive. He's still around. So
with his foot.
He is. He's gonna send. Well, he's part of the CIA, so.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna Zen Kwando your ass to Kingdom Come, isn't he?
Is he the original Steven Seagal?
Me, yeah.
There's an argument to be made. Skin crawling CIA operative.
I think I don't. You shouldn't. But you shouldn't really compare anyone to Steven Seagal.
No, to be fair, that was
a little bit harsh. Yeah. That is, come on, yeah. Because John Liu does know martial arts.
Right. What are you saying, David?
Well, reportedly, Steven Seagal doesn't know fuck all
about anything.
No. Although there is an argument that late stage dementia Steven Seagal films might be worth watching for shits and giggles. I haven't seen any of his recent.
I'm going to tell you that that's not true because I made Ron watch 4 of them.
Oh, did you? Oh, poor Ron.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought I had it bad with. I thought I gave it to him with Cannibal Holocaust, but yeah.
No, that's far compared to having to watch like 6 hours of Steven Seagal.
Oh, it definitely is. Yes. Oh, well done though. Yeah. So anyway, other than that, we've got some little appearances in this as well. Some little, well, not cameos exactly, but little bit parts. You've got Chong Fat's in this, doing a fucking great job with the sword.
Yeah.
Peter Chan Lung's in there. Tang Ti's in there as well. And Charlie Chen is in there.
Plus, one of the choreographers, Mang Hoi, is in it somewhere.
I didn't see Mang Hoi in it at all.
And he's choreographing with Chin Yet Sang.
Yes, yeah. And also doing it.
No, I was going to say, so the same year as this then, Chin Yet Sang stars in Kung Fu versus Yoga, which was choreographed by Mang Hoi.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we need to watch Kung Fu versus Yoga for the show as well.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen that forever.
If you don't own the Hang 'em High soundtrack, just watch Death Duel of Kung Fu. You will hear the Hang 'em High theme tune as much as you'd ever possibly want to hear it.
Yes.
It's not as effective as the big gun down in Secret Rivals.
No. But also, well done for spotting Western music.
Well, the Hang 'em High one I know just because it's so much in Kung Fu films.
It is. Yeah.
It may be the most often used one. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So plot-wise, there's not really a lot to say, is there? I mean, it's kind of straight up and down, a bit of espionage. Wang Tao gets captured and then released, and there's a secret agent instructing Eagle Han what to do, and he has to release Wang Tao when he doesn't want to release him, and all that business.
There's a severed head.
Yeah. Wang Tao's carrying around a severed head.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So you're watching this for the action, is why you're watching.
Yeah, this is just about shapes. Yeah.
And you will be richly rewarded.
Yeah.
It's funny actually, considering it is. I mean, over to you, but just to get my part out of the way. Considering this is a fan favorite and it is great and everything, it is so much about the shapes. I actually have little to say about it because it is just great fucking action and it's wall to wall action.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, well, and this is no, and this is the other thing is that, you know, if you again, you know, I'm not really joking when I'm calling it Secret Rivals 4 because that's what it is. It's just what Wong Tao is a fairly stern kind of policeman type. Not that he's playing a policeman, but he's kind of a fairly stern kind of, you know, investigator type. John Liu's a happy-go-lucky dude. You don't quite know what he's up to. You don't quite know what he's, you know, what he's playing at. And there's some skirmishes here and there. There's to be fair, the Kim Jong-Chu character is actually quite a welcome addition, I think, because she's doing a few fights. She's actually kind of holding her own because she doesn't all the throwing knives, and she's a bit of a knife fighter, so she's quite cool. Also gets a tits out.
Tips if you're not on YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I quite like that. She's kind of like a Mata Hari kind of character, isn't she? So she's kind of, you kind of don't know what she's up to either.
What's interesting as well, considering this was the last film before the big gap. She clearly must have been, because I looked. I mean, it's not just she's in a few. She had quite a lot of credits on the Korean movie database, like almost 60. So she must have been a fairly big. I've never heard of her before. She must have been a fairly big star in Korea, and you know, this is her kind of almost a retirement picture.
A crossover joint. Yeah.
The trauma film.
Yeah. All, you know, again, and yeah, it's straight up and down action, shapes, good shapes.
Oh, top notch. It's funny. Yeah, I don't want us to, because we're almost brushing it off in a way, and we should kind of pull ourselves back a little bit and emphasize, no, it is a fan favorite for a reason. And I suppose Secret Rivals 3 and then Secret Rivals 4 would become 3 would become 4 in the timeline, right? I suppose.
Yeah.
But the other thing I want to say about that as well, so Charlie Chan Yu Lam, I'm wondering if his casting was coincidental, because he's in Secret Rivals 2, isn't he? I was wondering if that's why he's in it.
Yeah, quite possibly. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
But he's not in it much, but they go to the trouble of giving him a fight to do, right? And
it's a one-on-one versus. Yeah, exactly.
It felt almost like a cameo, didn't it?
Well, it is, and it's and in the plot. You think, well, where the fuck did he come from?
Exactly.
I've seen him before.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it must be because he was in Secret Rivals too.
Yeah, and it's in the same location.
Yeah,
and it's by those big statues by the.
He was just hanging about. That's a very one of the most identifiable locations you can have, right?
Yeah, maybe he just lives in a tent
nearby
a temple. Yeah, no, in the temple.
Waits for films to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But do you want someone to?
I was in the film Secret Rivals too.
Yeah, I'll do a fight for you. Yeah. Buy me a can of Tended Super.
Yeah. Do you know Frank Zappa is a shit in the bucket?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. End fight, amazing, brilliant.
Yeah.
Particularly something that I don't remember from the last time I watched it, but particularly good is the two swordsmen versus Wong Tao, and particularly the John Liu one. So Chong Fat and the other dude.
Yeah.
Now that is top notch.
Also very noticeable, Eagle Han taking some full contact kicks to the fucking head. And standing up, which is pretty impressive. I mean, if you know, needed evidence that Eagle Han is hard as fuck, then some of the kicks they stand out because, you know, to a certain extent it's always slightly obfuscated or something, but it's just that's clear.
No, he's having it in the head.
And even if you're pulling back, there's no way that because you're flying through the air.
Yeah.
Hitting a man in the head with your foot. That's
yeah. So what I would say about this as well is the action is universally good, right? Yeah. So everything's good in this. All the action's good. extra good shapes as well, because they're doing that thing that we all like, is before they start fighting, they pull a few shapes first. And then in the middle, they'll pull a few shapes to get themselves back on balance or whatever. So that's always good.
My favourite for that is Eagle Hand doing that. Just center himself.
Exactly.
That looks cool as fuck.
Fucking great. Brilliant. Yeah. So that's good. But there's no kind of standout bit in it.
No. You're quite
there's
right.
No, there's no triple kick. There's no kind of, kicking someone over the back of the head and, over the back of your head. There's no kind of standout super kicks in it.
To be fair, there's an early on scene where John Liu sticks his head, sticks his leg up 90 degrees, and I thought, oh, here we go. And then he doesn't do it again that much. He only gets to show off a little bit. Obviously, someone had a word with him, slapped him on the back of the head and said,
yeah, come on now.
Yeah.
Stop
sticking your leg straight up in the air. And then he was like, all right, I'll stop sticking my leg up in the air, but I get a snogging scene. They didn't consult her, hence her retirement from film. But
there we are.
He took one for the team, and it means we didn't have to watch him putting his leg up in the air, showing off.
Yeah. But there's nothing. It's just all good action. So there's no kind of excellent set piece at the end.
No, like you said, it's just fucking wall to wall, mad shapes, great stuff.
Yeah. And even some of the same shots are repeated from Secret Rivals. So they at the end battle, you've got that really cool thing that picking up people know how to do, where one person flips and then the other person kind of flips over them, and they kind of flip over at the same time, suspended
like a
in the air. They do that
sign in motion.
Yeah. So that's so that stuff's good. And you can't really see the join, you can't really see the doubles.
No,
and
there's a few little bits.
Action.
There's a few little bits as well where they try and do something a little bit interesting and non-standard. There's like a bit where Dong Wang Tao gets knocked out, and then you get a point of view from him waking up, and someone holding like a bucket of water, and then you get the point of view of water. It's just they don't always go to the trouble of doing those kind of Dutch angles and stuff, and sometimes it's the action's enough and it's the story's good. They don't go for those little stylistic touches too often, right? So you see, it's like, oh, that's good. They've gotten a little, there's someone trying to be a bit fancy.
And I suppose that brings us to the end of Death Duel Kung Fu then, because I don't see what else we have to say about it, really. But I want to, because the whole reason, because it was my pick this time, the whole reason I picked these was because I want to get into William Chung Key, right, and just look at him as his own entity. And what I've learned over this, and also kind of, because what kind of inspired me to do that was when we did Ninja vs. Shaolin Guards recently. Number one, you can tell he used to be a cinematographer, right? Because that man knows how to set up a fucking shot.
Yeah. Well, that speaks to what I was saying about the slightly interesting camera work now and again as well. So
yeah. But also, when he's doing wide shots like Hero of the Wild, that shot on the beach at the start,
right?
That looks fucking genuinely beautiful.
When
he's doing long shots in a field, it's arguably he's doing a much better job than, for example, nearest comparison, NCN, right? Secret Rivals.
Funny you should mention NCN, because I was just looking at his cinematography credits. As a film I actually need to go back and watch, but certainly is a film that's definitely, at the very least, got great location photography. He shot Kidnap in Rome.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So I think you can definitely bank on William Chung Key making a beautiful looking film.
Well, let's. I mean, we've got a few minutes here, and it's not that long a directorial career. Let's have a quick look.
No, it's 6 or 8 films, isn't it?
Yeah. 9 titles got in their Hong Kong database, right? So, first off, 1976, The Story of the Dragon, which is a dragon story, Bruce Lee's Deadly Kung Fu.
Yeah.
I
not
remember,
memorable to me. Yeah.
No, so we might want to revisit Hero of the Wild, Death of Kung Fu, Quickstep Mantis, like we said, we couldn't see.
Yeah.
Then we've got something called The Blind Girl and Dog.
Yeah, which is not Kung Fu, which is just some sort of drama.
Well, I think it's like a revenge thing, though. I think it is action.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, the poster looks kind of, it's got some lightning on it, and it looks.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll watch them all. Yeah.
Eagle's Killer.
Yeah, good.
Which I seem to remember Huang Zhangli again. Yeah. Remember that being good. Calamity of Snakes, which is of course just. I mean, as much as I liked Hero of the Wild and Death Duel of Kung Fu is a fan favorite, I think Calamity of Snakes is if you had to take one William Chunky film,
it's a different. It's a different. Yeah, it's a different animal, a snake.
Ninja vs. Shaolin Guards, co-director with Robert. And then he does let the side down because his very last film after a long gap in 1992 is that mainland. Oh no, hang on. No, it's not. Sorry, I misspoke. I was going to say it's that mainland film China Heat, but I think it's a different China Heat.
No, it's a different China Heat, isn't it? Yeah.
It is a different China Heat. This China Heat I've not seen, actually. Have you
seen?
No,
I don't know. No, I know nothing about that.
I've seen the other one. It's AKA Paid in Blood. I've seen the other one. The other one's not worth your time, really.
Yeah.
But this one I've not seen. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we can come back. We can come back for a bit more William Chunky.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm interested in this China Heat for sure.
Well, maybe we could do first and last.
Story of the Dragon and China Heat.
Yeah.
And if we can find Blind Girl and a Dog,
yeah,
I'd be up for that. I'm just double checking now. You speak about. I'm just double checking if the China Heat I'm thinking of, because they might even be from the same year, but that's definitely not the one I saw.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I'm remembering the title. It's not called China Heat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No, but I mean, I think.
Heat. Yeah, no, that is the China Heat I've seen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I remember it not be Sybil Who, right? It's like a Delta Force kind of film.
Okay, yeah, it's not been on my radar.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, it's not very good.
Not worth it. Okay, fair enough.
No.
Well, we'll try and work out Blind Girl and the Dog then.
Yeah, it's China. If I remember correctly, it's a bit of a. It's very much trying to be heroic bloodshed. So there's a lot of people jumping around with guns in both hands.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's not. I remember it being. It's one of those. It's like you'd think it would at least like just be stupid fun and have.
Yeah.
Surprisingly boring, I think, is what I was.
Okay. Well, a lot of them were, I think, in that period, weren't they?
Yeah. It is a mainland production, though, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. But I think certainly with these two films, and certainly with Ninja vs. Shaolin Guards, William Chunky's got a distinct style. I think, he's the script is trying to be a bit more interesting than straight up and down, although Death Duel of Kung Fu is more or less straight up and down fu. Robert Ty's action never looked so good than when William Chunky's involved.
But we should but that is the one thing that curves that film away from. It's as much a Robert Ty film as it is a William.
Oh, of course it is. No, of course it is. But I think we can certainly attribute William Chunky to making Robert Ty make sense and making it look good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
And Robert Ty is a genius of his own who doesn't need it to look good, right? And doesn't need it to make sense. But when it does, it's Ninja versus Shaolin Guards, and it's fucking excellent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the more kind of for fans only devil killer kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think that I've educated and reflected a bit more on William Chunky And yeah, I think he's, you know, he's up there for me. He's amongst my favourite, certainly of the Taiwan lot. And you know, there's a couple of favourites really, because Ninja vs Shaolin Guards is one of my favourite kung fu films.
Right.
You know, and if I reflect on it, and if I go watch it again sometime, then Hero of the Wild would be one that I would be more than happy to watch over and over again, and probably enjoy just as much.
Yeah, well, if you've got Hero of the Wild, Death Duel of Kung Fu,
Yeah,
Calamity of Snakes, and Ninja vs Shaolin Guards,
yeah,
in your
I
resume,
mean,
and that's like
yeah,
half of the. That's pretty good by anyone's.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't really have much more to say
No,
on
I think we've
Iron
dragged it
Man
out
than that.
as
But
much as
yeah,
we can.
yeah,
Yeah, if you've not seen Hero of the Wild, check it out. And
yeah,
Death Duel Kung Fu lives up to the reputation
yeah,
after all these years.
for sure,
Yeah.
Cool.
All right then.
Diane. Yeah.
Cheerio.
Till next time.
Until next time. Yeah. Bye bye.